Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel with I'm Sustiani B from English Department in University of Sumatra Utara. In this section, I'm going to discuss about formalist stylistic. What is it formalist stylistic? Here we go.
In some modern literary criticism, formalist is often used almost as a term of abuse. Some critics accuse stylistic of being formalist and so inadequate to account for the varying responses of readers to text. One of its historical roots in the group called it the Russian formalists, and one of its founding fathers, Roman Jakobson, tended to assume that all you had to do to account for a text was to analyze as completely as possible the details of its linguistic structures. Like the Russian formalists, stylisticians are concerned to describe the linguistic structure of literary texts precisely and in detail. They are also very interested in trying to understand how readers respond to that detail. As for a grounding theory, amongst others, shows as you take part in the various sections of this course, you might like to consider how formalist stylistic is and whether this is a good or a bad thing. We are going to the formalist criticism. What is it? Formalists accepted the art of art's sake approach to literature and argued that each text should be studied by looking at those formal devices that make it an artistic object. Bennett, 1979. Of particular interest to the formalist critic are the elements of form, style, structure, tone, imagery, and etc. that are found within the text. A primary goal for formalist critics is to determine how such elements work together with the text content to shape its effects upon readers. Kennedy, 1995.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry guys. I don't know. This video has been taken. So, because in this still Mubarak, I would like to convey Happy Eid Mubarak for who's ran it. Hopefully, we can meet Eid Mubarak next year. Okay. After we are discussing about formalist stylistic, when the next is we are going to analyze in literary work approaches formalist stylistic. Here we go.
A poison tree as a representative of Heartthrob, the poet has discussed the duality of human nature in this poem. He says that his anger with his friend vanishes as soon as he expresses it, but he doesn't air his annoyance with his foe, which grows and morphs into something poisonous. He further adds that he nurtures his anger with fear, resentment, sarcasm, and fake smile. This feeling grew as a poison tree or a tree of anger, and a shiny fruit sprouts from the tree. One day, his enemy enters into his garden and dies after tasting this deceitful fruit. His death gives immense pleasure to the speaker. Themes in A Poison Tree, Hatred, Anger, Raving are the major themes of the poem. The poem discusses the catastrophic effects of unexpressed anger. The poet very artistically dives deep into the darker side of the human mind and captures the damage that anger does to the heart where it nourishes and becomes a poison. Explain that it is easy to forgive friends, but enemies are never forgiven. And when a person tries to hide his hatred, it gradually grows into a mighty and destructive force. Antithesis. An antithesis is a figure of speech that refers to the juxtaposition of opposing or contrasting ideas. Blake has used this device in the first. The opening line focuses on telling a friend about anger, and it vanishes. The next two lines show the opposite act about hiding his anger from the enemy, and it grows. This is a juxtaposition of two contrasting ideas. Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound in the same line, such as the sound of W in I told my word did end. Next is allusion. Allusion is belief and indirect reference of a person, place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, political, or literary significance. In this poem, garden, apple, and tree are the illusion of Adam's, Eve, and the Garden of Eden. The next is metaphor. It's a figure of speech in which implied comparison is made between the objects different in nature. There is only one extended metaphor used in this poem. It is used in the second line of the third stanza. Till it bore an apple bright. Here, the apple is the metaphor of the fruit of his girth. Next is symbolism. Is using symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meanings different from literal tree. Symbol is his word and anger, whereas garden is the symbol of the heart where the hatred is nurtured. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things with their five senses. William Blake has used visual imagery throughout the poem to make his reader create a mental picture, such as, and it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright, my foe outstretched beneath the tree. The above analysis shows that Blake has beautifully employed this device to show the negative impacts of anger. The appropriate and careful use of this device has made the poem captivating and truthful for the readers. Next is stanza. It's a poetic form of some lines. There are 4 stanzas of 4 lines each in this poem. Rhythmic scheme. The poem follows the rhyming scheme of AABB. Rhyming couplet. There are 2 constructive lines of verse in a couplet, usually in the same meter and joined by the rhyme. For example, I was angry with my friend, I took my worm did end.